Hello everyone, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this card making tutorial. This is the lovely card we're making today, featuring the Filled with Sweetness stamp and die bundle from Stampin Up. And we're going to be colouring it all in using the wonderful Stampin Blend Alcohol markers. So we are going to be stamping using Memento Tuxedo Black, as this is an alcohol friendly ink. You can also use the new hybrid black ink that will be available in the new catalogue. For now I'm just going to stick with the old tried and tested Memento. So I've got everything set on my stamping tool. I'm going to give it a good press down and then going to take this out. But first I'll need to give everything a little bit of a clean. You know, I'm a great believer in cleaning up as you go along so that I can put things away and nothing gets orphaned or forgotten. So let's just put this back in the acetate. And this is the new packaging that you'll have seen me use quite often now. All of our new stamps come with this new packaging, and any stamps you buy now will always be like this. The acetate sheet, and everything will go in those new little, lovely new little pouches, which take up so little space to store, and I love them. Right, I'm just going to get a block out because we need to stamp a few more of these strawberries, and what I'm using is blueberries, so I'm just doing a few of those and then finding somewhere to stick that, and then some blueberries, and some more, just making sure I have enough. If I don't use them all, not the end of the world, but saves me having to get the stamp back out again. And then we're also going to stamp our sentiment, so I'm going to do that in blueberry bushel ink. So another scrap piece of basic white, just going to use my grid paper to line that up, and then tap tap tap. These are nice juicy ink pads, and then we're just going to put that down, hold it, and there, little cute sentiment, you're the sweetest. So give that a clean up as well. And I always use the simple chamois to clean everything up. It might look quite stained, but it cleans everything up beautifully. Staining doesn't affect anything at all, and I really don't care if it's stained or not, as long as it does the job. That's all I'm concerned about. Right, let's put all of that aside, and we're going to get to and do some colouring. So as I said, I'm going to be using the Stampin Blend Alcohol markers, one of my favourite ways to colour. And you can see here, I'm going to sort of go with my darker colour first and then blend everything out with my lighter colour. And here for these strawberries, I'm using the aptly named Strawberry Slush, one of my favourite pinks. It's usually a toss-up between this one and Melon Mambo. I love them both. I was so happy when this came back last year as an ink colour, and I think I'll be gutted if we lose it again this next year. But I really love it. It was an ink colour years ago, and it came back as another ink colour, and I actually had leftover cardstock from the first time, so I was very happy about that. So I tend to go backwards and forwards. If I've blended something out a bit much, then I just go back and add back in that detail, and these do blend beautifully, especially on this basic white cardstock. So you can see me there going, sometimes just not happy. Just keep on going until you find something you are happy about. Right, let's move on to our blueberries, and of course I'm going to use the aptly named again, blueberry bushel, and I'm doing the same thing, just outlining everything with the dark colour. I'm doing the same on all of my blueberries. So what is your favourite colouring medium? Are you somebody who likes a water-based marker, or do you like watercolour pencils? Do you use our Stampin' ink past to do watercolour painting? There are so many different ways to colour in, and alcohol inks are just one of many, so let me know what's your favourite. I use my Stampin' Blend Alcohol markers a lot, though I think when I have time to colour and I really want to take my time to colour and enjoy the process, I go back to my watercolours. I do love my especially my watercolour pencils. I think it just goes back to the fact that they were the first thing that was the first way I learnt how to colour in was with watercolour pencils, and so they've remained that favourite with me. Right, we're going to colour the lid in here, and I'm using smoky slates. I'm putting a dark colour in and then just going in with the lighter to blend that out, and I'm just sort of keeping it dark towards the edges and lighter in the middle. Right, going back to my blueberries and my strawberries, and I'm just going to colour in the leaves, and this is with Granny Apple Green. I'm not being, there's such a small area that I'm not really doing a lot of shading here. I maybe will go back at some point with the darker colour. Yeah, here you can see just to add in a little bit where those lines are. And I know I've missed out a blueberry, but I will come back and colour that in as well. Now, I always want to, when I've got something clear, and this is for me, this jar is going to be clear, I want to still give the illusion of clearness. I don't want to leave it bright white, and for that I tend to use, a colour I tend to use is soft sea foam. So I've done that, and I've cut this out using the matching dies that I showed you just now, and then I'm just cutting this piece off because the matching die actually cuts this out into a card shape, and I don't want to use that today, so I'm just cutting the edge off with my scissors. Right, so last time we did a blueberry bushel themed card. This time we're sticking with the strawberry slush, my favourite pink, as I said. So I've got a piece of basic white that goes on the inside here. Now all of the supply list and all the measurements will be found on the blog post, so do check that out, and you can find the link in the description box below. Now I've put that down. Now I'm going to use a piece of the designer series paper, and I'm just putting that on top, so you've got a little border of the white, and I really like how that looks. And then we're going to stick down our glass here, a glass tin or a glass container, and then you could pop all of this up if you wanted, but I'm not going to. I'm going to pop the lid up there. I've used bits of edges of my dimensionals to do that. I like that. So there we've got our jar. That was the word I was looking for before, jar. It's amazing sometimes you just lose words, and then when you're not thinking they just pop back into your head. Very weird. So I'm just arranging these in the corner, sort of piling them up higgledy-piggledy. Some of them are popped up, some of them will be flat, and I'm just putting these strawberries down, and I'm going to have one sort of here, and then another one at the top there. So that's perfectly fine like that. And then the sentiment, you're the sweetest, I've cut it out with the dies in the set and cut it out to look like this little tag. I think that's just so cute. So, on finishing touches now, this is the Misty Moonlight. I think it's called Checkered Ribbon, but again it'll be listed and linked below. And here I'm just going to feed this through the little hole and attempt to tie a bow. As you will know, my bows are not the best, but I give it my best shot, and it's tied with love. I've tried. We can't all be good at everything, and definitely tying bows is something I'm not brilliant at, but the ribbon is lovely and it ties a beautiful bow. Right, so now I've got some glue dots here, and I'm just putting this underneath my bow so it'll stay in place where I want it to, like that. And fiddling with it a bit, and I want the tail to cover the sentiment, so I'm sort of trying to do something about it, but there you go. Right, let's clear the decks and bring in, these are some embellishments. I can't remember what they're called, but you will find them all linked below. Now there are the two cards. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please don't forget to give it that big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.